Hey guys, Miss Turnbull here. I'm bringing a video to you. This one is for general essay writing. In this case, we're using this for English 30-2, but this video would also work for English 10-2 or 20-2 as the style of writing is very similar. In English 30-2, there is one main kind of essay that we need to worry about, and that is the literary exploration. When you get into grade 12, you will have to also write visual responses, as well as letters or speeches. But this is the main style of essay. You can still apply these tips to the visual response if you choose to do so, but neither of those other two require you to write an essay. This one, while not necessarily requiring you to write an essay, is often best served by writing an essay, and a lot of students find it just easier to write an essay for the literary exploration. So this type of essay is an extended response that analyzes literature through an analytical and or personal lens. And what that means is that we're going to analyze the literature, and we can choose whether or not we also want to connect to that literature personally. We're going to analyze that literature and evaluate its connection to a given theme or topic that will optionally explore the author's relation to that combination of text and topic. And you have to use a character from class in this response. So this is asking you to connect yourself to the texts that we've read in class and to this topic that you've been given. And this is often a topic that's really quite easy to relate to. They're not looking to trick you with this. It's just a way for you to be able to relate yourself to the text, and then both of those things to the topic that they've given you, or in this case, that I have given you. So general steps for essay writing. These steps apply for any style of essay. So the first one is you're going to decide on a topic. And in this case, you're going to be given topics. But these topics are going to be quite broad and general. And the problem with a broad or a general topic is that in order to accomplish the whole thing, it would require you to write pages and pages and pages of a response. So what you need to do is narrow that topic down to something more specific so that you can accomplish it in a single essay. So it's important to do this so that your essay fits within the assignment's bounds while still being specific and having depth. So you may change your topic early in the writing process if you are not comfortable or happy with the ideas or the research available for that topic if you're having to do some research. Make sure whatever topic it is that you choose is both challenging and interesting to you. This will help you endure the process of writing the entire essay. And this is for essays that you're going to have to write over a period of time. This isn't necessarily as useful for something that you would write in class, where you are going to quickly come up with your topic, decide on what your argument is, write a quick outline, and then throw together your essay. This is for something where you might write it over the period of a week. After you have your topic, or maybe even two topics that you're trying to decide, you're going to quickly jot down ideas about those topics to make sure that you are happy with what you selected at this stage. You might be able to say, okay, I like topic A better than B because I can't find as much to say about topic B. So it'll be easier for me to write the response on topic A, and that's up to you. So after that, if you choose to, you can consult with your teacher, i.e. me, about this topic. And this might be helpful for you so that I can give you some guidance, help you decide if your topic is specific enough for the assignment, if you're going to end up having to write forever in order to accomplish it, if what you're saying is detailed enough. I'll be able to help you with all of those things. After you've really sat down and decided this is the topic I'm going to write, you're going to gather information. So this is brainstorming. You're going to brainstorm about the text, how those texts may be connected to your topic. You're going to make quick notes. These are not meant to be big, long pages of very detailed stuff. Jot notes quickly, point. Things that instantly come to your mind when you think about this topic and the text that you've chosen. So any ideas that you take from other sources, so let's say you Googled some stuff about this, make sure that you are crediting those sources in your work. So you need to keep track of where you got that information from to make sure that you're not plagiarizing anything. So after that, we're going to create a working thesis. Now, a lot of people hear the term thesis or thesis statement and their brain shuts down because they think that a thesis statement is something really confusing, really difficult. It's got a really hard name. I don't understand what this is. But we have to remember a thesis statement is just a statement that tells us what is my argument. What is the point of this paper? What am I saying in this paper? That's my thesis. Okay. There's no fancy specific way for you to write a thesis. There are a lot of different ways you can do it. As long as you are getting your argument down and it's clear what you are going to discuss in your essay, that is a thesis and you've done your job. Okay. At this stage, it's a tentative thesis and you should be open to change it. Okay. As you write, you may find that your argument actually shifts a little bit from what you thought it was going to be at the beginning of your planning process. So just be aware that you might decide to change your thesis later. Okay. Many students will make the mistake of writing their thesis at the start of the essay writing process, but they don't return to it for potential revision as they write. It's incredibly common for the argument or the point of the essay to shift slightly, or sometimes significantly throughout the writing process. If you do not revisit your thesis while writing, you may end up with a thesis statement that does not reflect the essay that you wrote. This is a fundamental flaw and will result in significant losses in your grade. So it's pretty easy at the end of your writing of the first draft to just go back and check on your thesis. Is what I said I was going to do, so is my thesis accurate? Does my essay prove my thesis, or do I need to rework that thesis so that it matches it a little bit better? Last here, don't fuss about the exact wording of your thesis at this stage. Just get the idea down. You will wordsmith your thesis when you're revising your initial draft later. After we've done all of this, so after we've gathered our information, after we've created a working thesis, then we are going to construct a working outline. This is an outline that helps us organize our thoughts before we write our first draft, and it should include our thesis, the ideas that we are trying to get across in each paragraph, and the evidence that we're going to use, and where in which paragraphs are we going to put each piece of evidence. Okay, while we create our outlines, we need to think, in what order are my paragraphs going to go? Does that order make sense? How am I going to transition between paragraphs? How do each of my paragraphs defend or expand upon the idea or argument asserted in my working thesis? Have I included enough evidence or research? Does all of my evidence or research support the idea or the ideas that it is supposed to? Okay. If any of these answers concern you, you need to be aware of that and just make sure that your outline matches what your purpose should be. After that, we take a break. I'm not kidding. Go and spend some time on literally anything else. Let your ideas ruminate on their own for a while. Take a break, do something else, and allow yourself to come back to this with a fresh mind, because now we're going to write our rough draft. So remember that a rough draft is meant to be an initial document for us to rework later. This means that you should not be worrying so much about how you're going to write your ideas, but rather that you write your ideas down. Just get your ideas down on a sheet of paper in a rough organization of an essay. We will revise it afterwards. At this stage, focus on your order, getting your argument across, and allow yourself to take risks with your writing. You can always remove it later if you don't like it. Okay? Take some chances. Try things out. See if that metaphor you were thinking about really works out. Try it out, and then later, if you decide it didn't work out at all, and I don't even understand what my point was, you can rework it in the revision stage. After you have created your rough draft, you're going to take a break again. Yes? Again. This break is even more important than the first one. Okay? Do not move on to the next step before taking some time for this one. If you have the time, try and take a whole day or more as a break from writing. Okay? If it's a full essay, you should really be trying to take at least a 24-hour break. If you can manage it, maybe even take an additional day. Okay? But make sure that you're cognizant of your due dates and deadlines for your assignment. So after we take this break, we're going to tear it all down. Okay. Well, maybe not quite. Let's try step 9 again. Actually, we're going to revise our rough draft. So at this stage, we're going to take a fresh look at what we had written originally. So we are going to consider the following choices that we've made. Our arguments. Are they clear? Are they supported? Do they connect to our thesis? For your evidence and your research, is it clear? Did I cite them if necessary? If you got your information from somewhere else, did you credit that to that place? Have I explained each piece and its connection to my argument and thesis? Okay, for our purpose, has my writing accomplished what it set out to do? Did it answer the question or respond to the prompt effectively? For our presentation, does my organization make sense? Are my transitions between ideas and or paragraphs smooth? Is my tone consistent? Or am I kind of casual in one body paragraph, really clinical in another, and almost joking in my third? Because if my tone is jumping around like that, it's not going to create a cohesive impression on my reader, and that will prevent me from doing really well on the assignment. And the last one is your prose. Do I like all the sections of my essay? Can I spruce up some of the boring sections with interesting language? Can I vary my vocabulary? Does my voice come across in my writing? Can I hear myself when I read it? So as you're looking at these different things, you're going to make notes on the existing draft about the changes that you're going to make. Just little notes for yourself. I don't really like this. We need to workshop this. My argument isn't coming across in this paragraph. Make sure to make some changes to fix that. This piece of evidence isn't working for me. I need to find something else that goes here. You make little notes on your rough draft. And then after we've made these notes, we're going to write our final draft. So we're going to take everything that we noticed in step 9 and we're going to rework our rough draft into our final draft. Sometimes it will take you less time to reconstruct your essay from scratch rather than working within your rough draft. You may find that it would be helpful for you to look at your rough draft, but write your final draft in a new document. Sometimes it takes us longer to fix an essay that we had already written than it would to write a new one fresh from scratch. It is really common for your final draft to appear nothing like your rough draft. Okay, so just be aware of that. Understand that that can happen. Not a big deal. Probably a good sign, actually, since your rough draft is meant to be a really rough piece of writing that you need to craft later on. And after that, we're going to proofread. This is the step where we look at our sentence structure, our grammar, our spelling, and punctuation. We can use a digital proofreader, but don't be afraid to ask some humans that you know to proofread your work as well. They may catch some things that you and the computer will miss. And remember that you don't have to change everything that a proofreader mentions to you. If your gut is to leave it that way, assuming it isn't something that is right or wrong, like spelling or grammar, then do so. This is your essay, all right? It needs to come from you. If you don't like some of the feedback you've received, you do not have to follow it. And last, if you're feeling discouraged, check out these quotes from some authors about writing. This is Writer's Digest list of 72 of the best quotes about writing. Gives you an idea. These are all famous writers talking about writing and how difficult it is. So please don't get too discouraged. Understand it is a tough process and it's okay to be, to find it difficult. That is okay. All right, guys, that is it for this video and I'll see you on the next one.